I'm Susy.
And I'm Oz.
And here we are in the wonderful, still working cellar of the Pig at Cuvée.
And we're doing our Christmas sipping series. And today we're looking at sparkling starters to perfect port.
So I think, Oz, people think about what's going to go with the turkey, the main course wines, sometimes forget the aperitif and then the way to end the perfect Christmas meal. So we're going to do the beginning and the end.
I think you're right. They often think, I must get the turkey wine right, blah, blah, blah. Oh, God, we need some champagne. Yes, we'll go and get some champagne.
Yeah.
Which one? Oh, anyone. And port at the end. Oh, yeah, yes, go and get that bottle.
From last year.
That one, that looks familiar. Yeah, like that. I think you're right.
But they're worth thinking about because it's those special moments at Christmas where the wines can really shine, I think.
I agree. And it's the start. The sparkling wine is the start. When you're freshest, when you're brightest, when you're most enthusiastic, and also when you haven't had anything to drink.
So we are... I'm going to open it.
Go on, open it.
So, Hambledon, we are in England. English sparkling wine. what a success story.
Oh, and here we are. You said, we're in England. Drink English wine. Respect English wine. Enjoy it. Be proud of it. We're making sensational wine in this country now. We're making sparkling wine to beat any in the world. And now's the moment to say, I'm gonna drink this with pride and with pleasure.
And celebrate it at Christmas, tell the story of it. And this one has a really interesting story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hambledon.
By the way, it smells jolly nice. But Hambledon, there was a time between the First and the Second World War when there wasn't a single commercial vine in the whole of England. And in 1952, this guy decided that he was going to restart commercial winemaking in England. And he chose these really chalky slopes in Hampshire at Hambledon and started the Hambledon vineyard. So in other words, this wonderful English sparkling wine world that we now exist in and enjoy so much, it all started here.
This is the beginning.
At this vineyard. This is the beginning.
1952.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think lots of people think it only started in the last 10 years, but there were pioneers like this.
There were pioneers. It didn't work particularly well, but they kept at it. Oh, by the way, Hambledon is where they invented cricket as well.
Is it?
So if you actually stand in the vineyard at Hambledon, up on the hill there, you can see a pub, and that's the Bat and Ball pub. That's where they invented cricket.
Could it be more English?
Couldn't be more English.
Except that it's champagne grape varieties, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, champagne method, so the very meticulous long aging in the bottle for complexity.
Yeah.
So all those fine things from France, but translated to Hampshire.
Champagne soil.
Oh, chalky
This
soil,
is the
of
chalk
course.
soil. Now, the thing about the South Downs and the North Downs is that chalky soil is exactly the same chalky soil as you have in Champagne. Champagne is an area of France, 2.5 hours drive from Calais?
Quite close.
It's in the north of France. It's an area, chalky area. And the chalk there's a slope called the Côte de Blanc, the white slope. They say the chalk that there is exactly the same as the chalk here. And this guy who made this wine, he said, I've got southeast to east facing slopes. And I said,
Gosh.
But that's colder than the west facing, isn't it? He said, yes, but all the best Chardonnay grapes in Champagne are east facing.
Well, what a pioneer. And I don't know what his wines tasted like in 1952, probably not this good. But what do they taste like today? For me, Hambledon is one of the very best of the English wineries. I love these wines. The finesse, the tiny, tiny bubbles.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. So very elegant. Lovely kind of creamy quality going on
that
there.
biscuity thing coming in.
For the long aging.
And there's something very slightly salty. And I remember when I
Little
was
dab
down
of
there,
saline.
yeah, and when I said to the guy there, hey, this tastes slightly salty, and he said, well, the sea's just over that hill. You go over the hill to the south of Hambledon, you go down to Portsmouth.
Yeah.
So he said, we get the sea breeze coming up from the channel all the time.
You can kind of taste the cool climate, but it's not sour, very much in balance.
Yeah.
But this is deeply refreshing. I mean, this is really setting you up. It's your starter drink on Christmas Day.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It's going to refresh you, waken up your palate and get you all ready for the richness that's ahead.
And classic Cuvée, when you see classic Cuvée on the label, it basically means
Like
it'll be made. It's on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Classic Cuvée. Means it's made from black grapes and white grapes, because Well, champagne traditionally is made from black and white grapes, so they do the same in England as well.
Just pressing the clear juice out of the red grapes. Yeah.
And the black grapes just give you slightly more body. When you just use white grapes, the wine is a little finer, a little leaner, and you just a little more weight. The black grapes give you slightly more weight.
And we're about to move on to a Blanc de Blanc, which is entirely white grapes and entirely Chardonnay. So again, a champagne grape. Champagne does Blanc de Blanc as well. But this is a Hambledon's English Hampshire Blanc de Blanc. So what can we expect in terms of the difference in flavour?
Should be more linear, a little more, slightly less mouth-filling. Maybe slightly more citrusy, lemony.
Yep.
The lemony, it's a lemony which is sometimes more like lemon meringue pie. That lovely mixture of meringue and lemon
curd.
And lemon curd. Not just a sharp lemon. It's just that was beautifully done.
Thank you. There's a lot of people that think Blanc de Blanc is the best style of English wine at the moment.
And a lot of people in Champagne think the same. That some of the most expensive champagnes of all are Blanc de Blancs. Now, this one is based on the 2018 vintage. And the reason that's important is that was the first of our tremendously hot summers.
Yeah, 18 hot,
18
plentiful
was
crops.
So hot, and the vineyards were full of grapes. And that was the year, I think, when English people started to believe English wine is not just some oddity. It's not just retired majors in the half acre of their land in Hampshire or Surrey. We really are
really
warm
can
enough.
do it.
And everyone then said, oh, well, it was only once. But we got hot again in 20. And 22 was hot. And 23 was hot.
And boy, 25 has been
Talk about
stunner.
heat.
But this is so the base of this wine is 7 years old.
Yeah.
So we've got some maturity going on there.
Yeah. And yet the colour is wonderfully green. Now, that's the thing you'll find about Blanc de Blanc, the Chardonnay ones, that there's a lovely green quality. And as soon as you see that, you just know it's going to refresh your palate. And those lovely foaming
Really
bubbles
lifted.
are just going to make your mouth water and your eyes lift.
And I'm getting lots of lovely, as if you've crunched your teeth into a yellow apple, an English apple in there. Beautiful. So I would actually want some seafood with this, I think. This is an oyster wine. This is any kind of little white fishy seafood starter. I want this.
I think this is a really successful wine because it is acid. But it is a lovely acid. You said a yellow apple. I was thinking of apples. I was thinking maybe somewhere heading towards the kind of acidity you get in a Cox's orange pippin, something like that. But then the foam on your palate, that's because the wine is 7 years old.
Yeah.
The foam, it's not a crackling bubble anymore. It's a gentle foam.
And then on the finish, I get that little bit of almost like a vanilla yogurt. Just a little dab of something that's yogurty.
You can only get that with time. Drink this at 2 years old, it would taste far too raw. Drink it at 7 years old, it tastes lovely.
Perfect,
This, you could, I would say you can age this another 5-10 years and it'll get...
I like it now.
So do I. That bottle's not going to last the day, I can tell you.
That makes me think immediately of, lovely kind of light fishy starters, even salads, that kind of thing. So keeping it light, super refreshing. So Blanc de Blanc and the classic Cuvée, slightly different in style.
Yeah.
Driven by different grapes.
Yeah. And well done, Hambledon, because... that's where it all started. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done in 1952. We love you in 2025.
Yes.
So now we're going to skip right through the main meal.
Yep.
Because that's lots of other topics there. So and we're going to land at the end of the Christmas meal.
You need glasses?
I think we're going to need glasses for that.
I will get you some glasses.
We're going to, thank you, we don't want to use the same glasses. We want to use clean ones and bigger ones.
Here's me straddling it. This is a straddling day.
Well, it's a cellar. It's a bit rickety down here, but that's part of the delight of it. So, port. I think some people really do love port at Christmas for lots of good reasons. It's sweet, it's warming, it's fulsome, it's kind of a very special thing. It feels like a special occasion thing to share around. I mean, you don't open port on your own, do you? I don't. It's the sharing. Okay, well, I don't. I think it's a sharing wine. People bring a bottle of port, and this is a really good one to bring. This is Graham's 2020 late bottled vintage.
Try the other bottle.
That one's not open. This one is open.
You can't tell her. There's a perfectly good open bottle there, but she won't take it.
At the end of the Christmas meal, I definitely might forget that. So there we are.
Look at that colour.
Yeah.
Now, there are various sorts of port. There's ruby port, which is a perfectly nice, rather gutsy, strong port, sweet and alcoholic, which is a good winter drink. There's tawny port, which is a much more sophisticated, sort of slow sipping kind of port, which is a horse chestnut. You know, that lovely colour that conkers get.
Sort of mahogany colour.
Mahogany.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love
that
tawnies.
sort of colour.
I serve tawnies chilled from the fridge with desserts and chocolate.
And then there's this, which is more like the great traditional vintage style. It says vintage late bottled on the label. Well, that's because when you make vintage wines, which last 50, 100 years, you bottle them really early, and they age for 20 or 30, 40, 50 years in the bottle, and they are really slow to develop. Now, if you leave the wine in a barrel for 5 years instead of 2 years, it softens much quicker without losing all that wonderful spicy depth. So it's a sort of halfway house between the great expensive old vintage ports. It allows us in a way to get some of that vintage excitement.
Yes,
but
and
cheaper
LBV,
and
exactly. It's really good value, I think, LBV. Late bottle vintage port, believe me, is the really good value port out there. So it gives you something of the character of a vintage port at nowhere near the price tag. And it's ready to drink. You can drink it on release when you buy it. You don't have to cellar it.
And Graham makes some of the best port going. So they're going to give you a lot of that vintage character, but much easier to drink young.
Oh, so satisfying fruitcake, plum, dashes of spice, salt and pepper. It's glorious.
It's delicious. Absolutely delicious.
And not too sweet, actually.
No.
Although all port is sweet because they've added spirit and there's some residual sugar left in it. This one isn't too sweet. I think there's a really nice complexity where the sweetness sits nicely on it.
And it's not spirity and harsh.
No.
That 5 years in the barrel has softened the whole thing down.
It looks nice as well. It comes in a gift box, I believe. So what would you have this with, Os? Would you have it on its own, or are you going to pair it up with something?
A couple of old friends and a log fire, I think, probably
Something to eat.
me. The old-fashioned thing that you don't often see nowadays, things like nuts. I think it would be wonderful. I was given some walnuts a couple of years ago, and I thought, oh, I love fresh walnuts. I discovered I hadn't got a nutcracker anymore. I haven't got a nutcracker.
That's your Christmas present.
My Christmas present is a nutcracker. What about cheese?
I absolutely
English cheddar,
cheese. Nothing. I wouldn't go soft creamy brie.
No,
I'd go
English
proper mature cheddar.
Stilton and cheddar.
Yeah,
I
like a little chunk of parmesan. It's really nice with pork.
Work.
But I would predictably go dark chocolate. Just a bar of really good dark chocolate with this is my go-to.
And if you wanted to, you could do this with Christmas cake and Christmas pudding.
Oh, you could, yeah. But don't use it for cooking. It's too good.
Too good.
Buy a cheap ruby for that. But yes, late bottle vintage port is a total treat. It's not just for Christmas, but boy, it's good at Christmas.
I'm looking forward to it.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
This is just one of our Wine Alive Christmas sipping series videos with me, Susy Atkins, and my mate, Os Clarke. If you would like to know more about the wines we've tasted, head over to our blog at wine-alive.com and check out other episodes. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and we hope you sip splendidly this Christmas.